here and welcome to this week's edition of the Bond Room Unlocked, whereby I'll be taking an item from this Bond collection and relating it to one of the Bond films that we know and love. And this week it's Roger Moore's final entry as Bond, the 1985 film A View to a Kill. Now, in the franchise we all have a character or two who we may find annoying, whether it's from their performance or their ability to action the plot within the film. With the help of a number of guests today, we're going to highlight a few of those annoying characters. Robert Gibb, over to you.
So this week's question: who is the most annoying Bond character? Very difficult question to answer that, because it could fall on a few shoulders, this one. But in my opinion, my most annoying character was Boris from GoldenEye. We needed a computer geek to deal with all the situations that were going on in the film, but we didn't need it played in a stupid fashion. It was funny once, perhaps, with his quips, "I am invincible," but after that, it just wore a little thin. So yeah, that was probably, in my opinion, the most annoying character out of the series.
Thanks, Robert. So there we have Boris Grushenko from GoldenEye. Now, one of the characters that I want to focus on, now, she's not the most annoying for me, but she's one of, and that is Stacey Sutton from our film of this week, A View to a Kill. Now, she's one of those characters that gets berated by the Bond community fans, but what makes her so annoying? Well, I want to look at three aspects today. One, the age difference between her and Roger Moore, her acting ability, and her incessant screaming. So let's start with the age difference. Now, Tanya Roberts was 28 years younger than Roger Moore, and it is quite noticeable on screen, which then sort of dilutes the believability between the two characters. But of course, that's not their fault. Surely that's down to the casting agents of the time. Craig Haywood, who's your most annoying character?
Hi Victoria. Bond characters that really annoy me. Well, that's simple. Dominic Green. He's the weakest Bond villain in the entire franchise for me. Even outranks Gustav Graves. He's so lame. He's weak. You just want to get hold of him and shake him and go, come on, get into yourself. He's a character that is just absolutely nothing. There's no menace about him. There's no get up and go. I've got a 16-year-old daughter I think could actually beat him in a tussle. He's just, there's nothing about him whatsoever. He's a proper wimp. He's a complete waste. And every time he comes on screen, I just cringe. I just really can't be doing with Dominic Green. He's awful.
Thanks, Craig. So there we have, added to our list, Dominic Green from Quantum of Solace. Tanya Roberts had starred in a number of 70s and 80s films, and it was very much for her look that she had been cast more than her acting ability. In 1982, she starred on the front cover of Playboy, and then of the same year, she appeared in Beastmaster, and then in 1984, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, where, to be honest, she wore nothing more than a loincloth. Now, both of these films were fairly low budget, so you would think, what is a good way to make a name for yourself? Star as a Bond girl in a Bond film. Or so you'd think.
Hello, Denise, happy Friday here. I have been asked by Victoria to talk a little bit about something that really irritates me in the Bond films. Those that know me are going to know what I'm going to say. Yeah, I'm afraid it's the Jinx character. As gorgeous as Hallie is, I think she tries too hard to be sexy. That wiggle, the strut, the wiggle that she does when she's emerging from the ocean, it's just so contrived. I find it a bit corny. I would say another irritating character for me, there are a few, but the ones that stick out, definitely Jinx.
Thank you, Denise. Now, I must admit, Jinx Jones is my least favourite character in the franchise too. Badly written, cringe fest of a love scene, far too much attitude, and I'm happy to add her to the list. Jinx Jones from Die Another Day. So the item that I want to look at this week is a new item, and it is this A View to a Kill title plaque. Now this can be used as a standalone item, or it can be fixed to a wall, and I've done here is put some little sticky pads on the back, and I'm going to attach this to the Bond room wall. Now I'm hoping to collect all of the different titles and have them interspersed across the room, so I thought I'd share this new item with you today. You can order these from Etsy and they are fairly reasonably priced. So there we go, A View to a Kill is now in place in the Bond room.
Hi, Chris Schofield here. Thank you, Victoria, for allowing me to submit my preference for most disliked character. Sadly, it's from the very recent No Time to Die, Valdo Opachev, bloke who's created a weapon of mass murder, is a character that's better suited, in my opinion, for something like Danger Mouse or Inspector Gadget. In fact, they had Rowan Atkinson in Never Say Never Again. They might as well got him back to play Mr. Bean. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris Schofield. We will add Valdo Opachev to the list from No Time to Die. So, my final point about Stacey Sutton, and probably the one which resonates with Bond fans more than anything, is her consistent screaming throughout the film.
James! Put your phone James! Oh, James.
Why does she do it? Is it because she is seen as a real woman and not an agent? Remember, she's just an ordinary American woman doing her day job. And to be honest with you, we would probably scream if we were trapped in a burning elevator, if we were trapped in a flooded mine and were dangling off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Anyway, on to the matter at hand. So the character that really, as Peter Griffin would say, grinds my gears is Mary Goodnight. And we can see here just why. This classic sort of scared, wondering what's going on, ditzy, clumsy pose after she almost kills James Bond accidentally with her arse. Yep, many women have tried to seduce Bond to death and use their assets to try and bring him to an end, but she almost succeeds completely accidentally. And one of the things that's levelled at the Roger Moore era often is that the women aren't strong enough. You know, they're portrayed as eye candy, and they're just there for, you know, James's sexual endeavours throughout the series. Now, while that's true to some extent, I think there's an awful lot of strong women throughout the Bond series, and in particular Roger's time. You look at Agent XXX, look at Goodhead, look at Octopussy, even Mayday, all of these really strong characters who are a foil for Bond, an aid for Bond, and really bring the film out into their own right. I don't think Goodnight comes anywhere close to that category. She, for me, is comic relief. She doesn't add anything to the series. She doesn't have any kind of level of banter with Bond. You know, she doesn't work as a foil for his double entendres, and for me, I'd say that she is lower tier. In if there was a Bond room unlocked poll of Bond girls, I think I'd put her down at the bottom. Thanks, Vicky. Take care.
Thank you, John Smith. We will certainly add Mary Goodnight to our list. So if you have enjoyed looking at some of the possible annoying characters within the franchise, and remember, you may not find some of these annoying, you may have others that you wish to be on the list, leave a comment below. It'd be great to hear who you think. But besides that, give it an MI6 stamp of approval and click on the notifications below. And why not subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any further missions? There are lots of fun things coming up. You can also find me on Facebook and on Instagram. Just search for The Bond Room Unlocked, knock on the door and I'll let you in. Now I'd like to thank my guests Robert Gibb, Craig Haywood, Denise Happy Friday and Chris Schofield for their opinions on their annoying characters. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to join me at the Bond Room Unlocked. But I'd like to leave you with thoughts from J.T.Watson and his most annoying character. See you next week.
I'm most annoyed by John Cleese's R in The World Is Not Enough. My biggest problem with him is he comes in to be Q's replacement. Q is grooming him in The World's Not Enough, but he's just a bumbling fool in that movie. And the biggest problem is he comes back in Die Another Day as Q and has a pretty good Q scene. He seems pretty competent, so I don't like how he's portrayed, and it just annoys me that he's made to look like an idiot.